Attention passionate Pittsburgh Steelers fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the AFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Pittsburgh Steelers' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Pittsburgh Steelers fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your friends and Pittsburgh Steelers fans. Let's get to the news now, folks. What we're seeing right now in the NFL landscape, especially concerning the Pittsburgh Steelers, is pretty fascinating. You know, the Steelers have been quietly building something special this season. They're sitting at 4-3, which for many fans is a solid position considering the tough competition in the AFC North. But what's truly catching everyone's attention is the ongoing buzz around potential trades, specifically involving the Miami Dolphins and one of their key defensive players, Jalen Phillips. And let me tell you, this isn't just some rumor floating around. There's real substance behind it, and it could have huge implications not just for Miami, but for the Steelers and the entire division. First, let's talk about Phillips himself. A first-round pick in 2021, this guy has shown flashes of brilliance, racking up 32, 5 sacks and 78 pressures in his career so far. That's quite impressive for a player still relatively young in the league. In 2025, he's already tallied 6 sacks, 15 QB hits, and maintained a pressure win rate of around 20%. His EPA per pressure of -0. 29 and 2 forced fumbles only add to his profile as a disruptive force. But of course, what's been holding him back a bit are the injuries. He suffered a knee injury in Week 5, which caused him to miss some time, but when healthy, his PFF grade has been stellar, hitting 87.8, which is comparable to some of the top defenders in the league like Nick Bosa. Now here's the interesting part. The Miami Dolphins, sitting at 1-6 and currently ranked 29th in sacks per game with just 1.8, are reportedly looking to shake things up. They've been struggling to generate consistent pressure on quarterbacks, and their defense, especially the pass rush, has been leaky. Their cap space is around $20 million, and they're prioritizing fixing their offensive line after Tua Tagovailoa's recent concussion issues, which have raised alarms about their long-term stability. Miami's management, led by coach Mike McDaniel, has been more focused on boosting their offensive firepower and protecting Tua, rather than investing heavily in a pricey edge rusher in a defense that's been weak against the run and against the pass. So, the rumors indicate that Miami might be willing to trade Phillips, one of their most talented young players, to the Steelers in exchange for a second-round pick in the 2026 draft. It's a strategic move for Miami, who's looking to rebuild and acquire more draft capital to retool their roster, especially on the offensive line and wide receiver positions. They're also trying to free up cap space to make room for extensions, particularly for their wide receivers, which they see as a priority for this offseason. The deadline for this trade is approaching fast, November 4th, and the pressure is mounting for Miami to make some moves, especially since they're sitting at a crossroads with a team that's clearly in rebuild mode. Now, for the Steelers, this potential trade could be a game-changer. Pittsburgh has been seeking to add more athleticism and versatility along their defensive line. With T.J. Watt injured at times this season, the Steelers have been rotating players to keep their pass rush effective, but adding a player like Phillips could elevate their entire defense. Phillips isn't just a pass rusher. He's a guy who can generate pressure from multiple spots, and his ability to rush the passer has been compared favorably to some of the best in the league, like Nick Bosa and other top-tier edge rushers. The Steelers are known for their stout defense, and they've been trending towards a more aggressive, versatile front seven, especially with the goal of reaching over 50 sacks this season. Their current pressure rate, which sits at around 38%, could see a significant boost if Phillips joins the mix. Imagine a rotation where Watt, Highsmith, and Phillips share snaps, each bringing their unique skill set. Watt's injury history has been a concern, so adding Phillips offers a much-needed insurance policy and a way to keep the pressure on opposing quarterbacks consistently. The Steelers' defensive strategy has always been about creating chaos, forcing turnovers, and setting up their offense with good field position. With Phillips' ability to generate pressures and force fumbles, the potential for turnovers and big plays skyrockets. And speaking of the offense, Pittsburgh's offense has been decent but not spectacular. They've been leaning heavily on their running game and efficient passing. But what's really exciting is the projection for the defense. If Phillips can stay healthy and continue to develop, the Steelers could see him surpass 12 sacks this season. That would be a huge boost, especially given their current standing in the AFC. Their goal is to stay competitive and push for a playoff spot, and an upgraded pass rush could be the missing piece to push them over the edge. Let's not forget the context of the AFC North either. The division has been highly competitive in recent years, with teams like the Ravens and Bengals always in the hunt. If Pittsburgh manages to bolster their defense through a trade for Phillips, it could shake up the division standings significantly. The Ravens, with their strong running game and solid defense, and the Bengals, with their explosive offense, are always a threat. But Pittsburgh's defense, especially if they add a player like Phillips, could become the division's most feared unit, forcing mistakes and turning games in their favor. Now, diving into the odds and projections, betting markets are starting to shift. Odds of Pittsburgh making a deep playoff run, previously around plus 8-0, have now been trimmed to around plus 3-600. That's a notable move, reflecting the increased confidence in the Steelers' potential if they make a strategic move like acquiring Phillips. His presence as an X-factor in the playoffs is being discussed more and more, especially considering clutch pressures and his ability to come up big in critical moments, similar to how Mac has performed in recent seasons. But let's also talk about the bigger picture here. The Steelers' defense under coach Mike Tomlin has always been about adaptability and relentless pursuit of excellence. If they manage to land Phillips, it signals a shift towards a more aggressive, high-pressure style that could define their identity for years to come. This move wouldn't just be about winning a few more games this season. It could set the tone for a new era of Steelers defense, one that's more dynamic, more versatile, and more dangerous. And of course, this is all happening in a league where every detail counts. The NFL is a league of fine margins, and the difference between a deep playoff run and a quick exit can hinge on a single player or a crucial trade deadline move. For the Steelers, the potential acquisition of Phillips is more than just adding a talented player. It's about signaling to the rest of the league that they're serious about contending, about making bold moves, and about not settling for mediocrity. Now, stepping back, what does this mean for the AFC North and the NFL as a whole? It's a reminder that every team is constantly evolving, looking for that edge, that secret weapon that can turn the tide of a season. The Dolphins, trying to rebuild and free up cap space, are looking to move pieces to position themselves better for the future. The Steelers, meanwhile, are eyeing that window of opportunity to capitalize on their talented roster and add that extra piece to push them over the top. It's a chess match, and right now, it's heating up with this potential Phillips trade. And I want to emphasize, folks, that this is still developing news. Nothing is set in stone yet, but the signs are pointing towards a very interesting deadline day and a lot of movement. The Steelers, with their rich history of smart, strategic moves, could be on the verge of making a bold statement by adding a player like Phillips. If they do, it'll energize their fan base, energize their defense, and maybe, just maybe, bring them closer to that elusive Super Bowl title they've been chasing for so long. So as we keep our eyes peeled for updates, remember that the NFL offseason and trade deadline are always full of surprises. The Steelers have a lot to play for this season, and adding Phillips could be the move that propels them into serious contention. Keep rooting, keep believing, and stay tuned for more breaking news, because the Steelers' story is far from over. This is a team that's always fighting, always evolving, and right now, they might be on the cusp of something truly special. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest Pittsburgh Steelers news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. And as we look ahead, the possibility of Phillips donning the black and gold could be the catalyst for a new chapter in Steelers history. The defense could become even more formidable, and with the right pieces, they could be the team that surprises everyone in the playoffs. Fans are already buzzing about the potential impact, and the anticipation is building. So whether this trade happens or not, one thing is clear. The Steelers are always in the mix, always fighting, and always looking for that edge. That's what makes them special, and that's what keeps us all hooked on this team. And now, Pittsburgh Steelers fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Pittsburgh Steelers. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Pittsburgh Steelers news.